Today we continue to listen Upekkhā Bhāvanā. When we practice Upekkhā Bhāvanā, it is important to develop Kammasakata Sammaditthi Jnana. To understand this, we continue the story of Todaya Subha from Uparipanasa Pali text. During the time of the Buddha, in Savatthi there was a lad called Subha. Subha, the lad, went to the Buddha and asked him why people are different from each other, why some have long lives while others have short lives. He also asks why some people are sickly and prone to disease while others are healthy, why some are ugly, why some are beautiful, why some have few friends, why others have many, why some are rich, why others are poor, why some are born in favorable circumstances while others are not born in favorable circumstances, and why some are born with much intelligence while others are dull-witted. And Buddha answered his question, O young Subha, beings are owners of their deeds, beings are heirs of their deeds, beings have deeds as their parents, beings have deeds as their king, as their refuge. Deeds divide beings in loneliness and excellent. Buddha gave this very short answer, but Subha did not understand. So Buddha elaborated upon the law of karma. Some beings like to kill other beings, and they like to they get in the habit of killing. After that, these people are reborn in 4 lower states, 4 woeful states: animal worlds, hungry ghost world, demon worlds, and hell. And if they are reborn as human beings, their lives are short. And those who do not kill beings, who have compassion for them, they may be reborn in the celestial beings world. If they are reborn as human beings, they have long lives. Then Buddha explained about sickness and health. Some people cause injury to other beings. They like to inflict injury on others. On account of that, they are reborn in 4 woeful states. If they are reborn as human beings, they are sickly and prone to disease. Those who do not cause injury to others are reborn as devas, or if they are reborn as human beings, they are endowed with good health. Why are some people ugly and why others are beautiful? Buddha explained that some people become angry very easily, and owing to this anger, they are reborn in four woeful states. But if they are reborn as human beings, they are ugly. Anger makes us look ugly. So when we are angry, when we look at ourselves in the mirror and see how beautiful or ugly we are, but some people have no anger. They do not become angry easily, and they have thoughts of loving kindness, they have metta towards people. These people are reborn as devas, celestial beings. And if they are reborn as human beings, they are beautiful. So if we want to be beautiful, we need to check our anger. We should not get angry. And another question, why do some people have no friends while others have many friends? If one becomes envious of the welfare and prosperity of others, he or she is likely to go down to hell. If he or she were to be reborn in human existence, he or she will have less attendants and companions. If a person rejoices in others, people's happiness and welfare with mudita, he or she will probably land in the worlds of Sukati, celestial realms. In the event of his rebirth in human existence, he will have a large number of attendants. So mudita, you know how to develop mudita. Mudita means rejoicing and getting pleased. It is rejoicing with others in their happiness and prosperity. Some people do not wish to see others prosper, happy and successful in their life's career. This reflects the nature of envy and jealousy. In Bali, it is called esa. Mudita is diametrically opposite to esa, the envy. A person who is overwhelmed with the feeling of envy will not wish to see others becoming prosperous and successful and happy, nor he is inclined to see others being endowed with a large number of attendants, handsome looks, and good education, nor does he wish to see others reaching a higher status in life and getting promotion in official rank and position. On the other hand, a person with mudita gets pleased and rejoiced to see others successful in their business or official career. He can bring into his mind the feeling of joy and pleasure. He radiates, may he or she be prosperous. This bent of mind or goodwill is mudita. It is indeed a dharma, the nature of noble-mindedness with extreme moral purification. Feeling of mudita should be spread out. Mudita should be radiated first and foremost to a very intimate friend who is in the habit of speaking with a smile on his face. Or when a beloved one who has become wealthy and prosperous, smartly dressed with happiness, you see or hear, mudita, feeling of rejoicing, should be invoked. You radiate how happy he is, very, very fine indeed, how good it is. You rejoice. In the statement given in the Visuddhimagga, in regard to developing mudita, it is shown how happiness had occurred. How sadhu, how sotu, how good it is, how fine it is. But in the present days, the Sangha and practitioner radiated yatha ladda sampatito mavigichantu. May they not be deprived of in all riches and wealth. May they not be diminished in all wealth that have already come into possession. If you see or hear a person endowed with wealth and happiness, mudita should be developed by bringing him into your minds as, may not this person wealth diminish, and may he or she not suffer loss. May he or she be able to retain his or her wealth and luxurious living status in full accomplishment, and may he be able to enjoy happiness as before. Towards a large number of people, mudita is to be developed in this way. May their wealth and prosperity which have been acquired be not diminished. May their wealth which has been acquired be not lost. and may they be able to retain their wealth in full with luxury and be happy as before. In this regard, the statement to have the full accomplishment of his wealth and luxurious life may be considered as not being fabulously rich, but being fairly well off. Mudita can be developed visualizing with a deep feeling of joy towards a person who is fairly wealthy. Such being the case, there is hardly anything to be said in particular in the matter of radiating mudita towards a person of great affluence for whom mudita can be developed with much more cordial rejoicing. So we can radiate mudita in this way. May all those people who are fully endowed with wealth and prosperity be accomplished with their wealth that has been acquired. And may they be retain their wealth and prosperity as before, and may they continue to live in wealth with happiness as before. May all those beings who are rich be as happy and prosperous as before. So a person who is envious of others succeeds in acquiring wealth and prosperity, and enhancement of reputation is likely to go down to the four woeful states and reach hell for his immoral actions of envy, Asa. After his release from the Apaya, hell, if he is reborn as a human being, by virtue of the strength of his meritorious deeds, he will be lacking in companions and attendants. It is clearly expounded in commentary as resembling the person who is armless, or the person who is without his hands after being cut off. When becoming thirsty, we have no assistant, we have no helper, even to offer him water to drink for the purpose of quenching his thirst. On the other hand, a person who is rejoicing with others in their well-being and happiness will be lifted up to the abode of celestial realms for his kusala karma meritorious deeds as a result of developing mudita. If he happens to be reborn in the worlds of human beings or in any form of existence, wherever he or she may be, he or she will have the positive result of being equipped with a large number of attendants and the attributes of power and fame. And then another question and answer. The fifth question. Karmic score for poverty and affluence. Dana charity, 10 kinds in number as offering according to Sutanda. You can offer these offering according to Sutanda. Annadana, rice meal. Panadana, make the offering of milk. Vittadana, offering of robes. Yanadana, offerings of transport. Maladana, offerings of flowers. Kandadana, offerings of incense. Vilipanadana, kinds in number of offerings is made if the act of charity done by other people are deterred. Such action will probably cause one to land in lower states. If he or she happens to be reborn in the world of human beings, he or she can be afflicted and stricken with poverty. Appa bhoga samvitanika esa manava patipada yadidana data hoti. Buddha says, Suva the led. A certain person is not used to making charity, or that person is miserly and stingy. The habits of stinginess, not wishing to do charity, is probably the cause of becoming needy and poor or lacking in wealth. The essence of this statement is composed partly in a motto as refraining from doing charity will cause extreme poverty. By doing charity with generosity, you may probably reach the abode of Sukati, celestial realms. If transferred from there to human existence, you are most likely to become wealthy and prosperous. It has been preached in a nutshell as Mahabhoga Samvitanika Esa Manava Padivada Yadidan Data Hoti. Buddha said, O Suba the led, a certain person usually offers charity. A certain person usually performs charitable deeds. The usual practice of his making donation is likely to bring about wealth. It is phrased in a motto as follows to be recited in combination with the relevant portion. of the expression. Refraining from doing charity causes extreme poverty. Charity brings wealth and prosperity. This Dhanakatha, the expression of rejoicing, Anumodana Dhamma is in respect of the charity done being heard of so often is well known. However, the story of Ananda, the rich, relevant to the expression refraining from doing charity causes extreme poverty, needs illustration. So we go to the story of Ananda, the millionaire. During the lifetime of the Buddha, there lived a rich person by the name of Ananda in the city of Savatthi. His riches amounted to 40 crores. Ananda was full of envy and a miser too. Every fortnight, he asked his relatives to hold a meeting. And at every such meeting, he admonishes some Mulasiri. Mulasiri, don't think that 40 crores worth of property which we have in possession is a big if the money is offered repeatedly, the entire wealth will, in the course of time, be disappeared. Aninjanankhayandiswa, etc. He admonished. This verse is the same as the verse given by Todaya, the rich man. The only difference between the two is the use of the expression upachikana of the white ants and the words vamikana, the ant hill. In this regard, it is interpreted as upachikana by the white ants. The accumulation of particles of dust which has been carried sometime later after giving his exhortation. Ananda the rich passed away. Ananda the rich died without telling his son where the 5 earthenware pots containing gold and silver were kept or buried. After his death, he was conceived in the womb of a female beggar in the village where beggars lived. The village comprised 1,000 dwelling houses. It was stated that from the time of the conception of this Ananda, the former millionaire, in the mother womb, in his new existence, the inhabitants of that village faced great hardship in the way of their living, in the way of their occupation. Circumstances under which they had to live became unpleasant. They did not receive wages or alms as usual, and they were not able to maintain themselves. They were unable to obtain more food. They received food just enough to support their own survival. As such, the villagers wondered, what were the circumstances that has shaped us in that way? Amaka andere kala kaniya bawistaban. They thought, there must be a wicked person. There must be a wicked person who Kalakani in Pali, that is wicked person or evil person. Considering in this way, they separated the village into two parts, 500, 500. Then villagers residing in the part of the village where the mothers of the former Ananda, the rich, was living, remain in poverty and adversity as before. So they again divided this portion of the village into two, 250, 250. And the villagers residing in the part of the village where the mother of the former Ananda, the rich, was living, remained in poverty and adversity as before. So it was repeatedly done in the like manner until such time when the mothers of Ananda was left alone in a state of calamities. However, the mother withstood the misery with great patience. After giving birth to a child, the mother continued to sustain herself for her own livelihood and the maintenance of the child. Ultimately, when the child grew up to an age capable of making his rounds begging for food, the mother, no longer being able to endure the suffering and hardship, was compelled to abandon her son. So the mother gave a receptacle to his son to seek food on his own. While going around the village begging for food from house to house, he came upon a dwelling place where he had lived in his former existence. Having possessed the knowledge of Jatisaranyana, by which he had the faculty of remembering his former existence, he entered the house through the front door. The sons of Mulasiri, on seeing him, cried through fear. They got frightened at the sight of him simply because of his extreme ugliness and ghostly appearance. His hands, his feet, ears, and nose were horribly deformed. The disfigurement of his body and repulsive complexion presented an awful sight. The children who were crying, being the sons of Mulasiri, were no other than these unfortunate young boys, the former Ananda's grandchildren. The babysitters who looked at him found the young boy, former Ananda, very ugly. Then they assaulted him with sticks. Nekama Galakani. You wicked devil, you go away. Shouted him. They put him on a heap of garbage. As a matter of fact, they regarded him as dirt. At that time, the Buddha, accompanied by the Venerable Ananda, in the course of their rounds, Armstrong arrived at the scenes. On being asked by the Venerable Ananda about the incident, Buddha told Venerable Ananda the state of affairs in detail. Thereupon the Venerable Ananda requested the people nearby to bring Mulasiri to him. People in the neighborhood who had come over to this place formed a big crowd. Buddha then asked Mulasiri, Janasi Eta, do you know this child? And he replied, I don't know. And Buddha told Mulasiri, Pitate Ananda City. This child was your father Ananda the rich. Mulasiri exclaimed, I cannot believe it, Bande. So Buddha ordered the child, Hey Ananda the rich, you better tell your son where the 5 big earthenware pots containing gold and silver were kept and buried in the earth. The place where the pots were buried was shown by the boy, and on digging, all the treasure were found intact. Only then faith and reverence had occurred in Mulasiri. He became a convert and observed the Tisarana 3 refuges, the triple gem, Buddha Dhamma Sangha. On that very occasion, Buddha preached this verse. Buddhamati Dhanamati iti balo vihinyati. Attahi adanonati kuto Buddha kuto dhana. That means I have sons and daughters. I have wealth and treasures. With this feeling of attachment, the fool is afflicted. Indeed, he himself is not his own. How can sons and wealth be his sons and wealth? I have sons and daughters, I have wealth and treasures, I have gold and silver, etc. Having had this kinds of assumption, a fool who has no knowledge of the state of samsara, or a fool who has no foresight about the future existences, becomes distressed in connection with his children, with his sons and daughters, and his wealth and riches. People are worrying with great anxiety about their children's welfare and wealth under a false notion that they are really their own and always dependable. In the event of the death of their own children and the loss of wealth, they would become anxious and greatly depressed with sorrow. They are worried about what would happen to those properties and their own kith and kin. There's no need to make a special mention about the physical and mental suffering which they are undergoing while the loss of their wealth and the death of their relatives are taking place. They also become wearisome for having to perform their work with utmost endeavor to gain wealth that has not yet been acquired. It means to say they will be constantly toiling and striving with worry and misery to bring up their children. And yet, attahi attanonati, even on his own self, he has no real reliance. He himself does not belong to himself. It means to say that on the verge of death, he cannot rely upon his own body. Even after death, he cannot depend upon himself or help himself to avoid going down to four woeful states and to fall into a state of miserable condition. So, how can sons and daughters be said to be really dependable? How could he say that he has his wealth to depend upon? Ananda, the millionaire, whose story has just been narrated, had to undergo misery and suffering immediately after his death. He met with such suffering for having relied upon his sons and riches instead of meritorious acts of charity. There were a number of stories about people who had become rich as a result of doing charity and offering gifts with great generosity. A person by the name of Indika from the city of Rajagaha became a powerful devas for having offered a mere spoonful of food with great generosity to the venerable Anuruddha. This episode has often been mentioned. So the Dharma refraining from doing charity causes extreme poverty. Charity brings wealth and prosperity, should always be borne in mind and well understood. After appreciating as such, it is of paramount importance to perform charity. In any case, you all people, you all devotees are not lacking in generosity and in the matter of offering donation. You all are generally accomplished with the qualities of dana, charitableness. And also there was a Dhammavara story. The quality of dana. At one time, Buddha was staying at the Jedavana monastery in Savatthi. So at that time, Venerable Mahamoggallana visited the Deva realms. Venerable Mahamoggallana found many devas living in luxurious mansion. So Moggallana asked devas, for what good deeds you are reborn in this deva realms? And they gave Venerable Moggallana different answer. One of the devas said, I am reborn in this deva realms not because I gave away much wealth in charity or because I listened to the Dhamma, but just because I always spoke the truth. Another devas, Venerable Moggallana asks, for what good deeds you are reborn in these deva realms? So that devas replied, that female devas, I am reborn in these deva realms because I did not get angry with my husband. I did not get angry. I had no ill will towards my husband, even though he often beat me and abused me. For keeping my temple and abandoning hatred, I am reborn in these deva realms. And the other devas, Venerable Moggallana asks, for what good deeds you are reborn in these deva realms? And that devas said, I am reborn in these deva realms because I had offered a little things. I've offered a stick of sugar cane. Another deva said, I have offered a fruit to the Sangha. Another deva said, I had offered some vegetables to the monk or to someone else. So on his return from the Deva realms, Venerable Moggallana asked the Buddha whether it was possible to gain such great benefits, just like speaking the truth, or by restraining one's action, or by giving small amounts of such trifling things like fruits, sugar cane, or vegetables. And Buddha answered, my son Moggallana, why do you ask me? Have you not seen for yourself and heard what the Deva said? You should not have any doubt. Little deeds of merit surely lead one to the walls of Deva realms. So Buddha spoke in verse in this way. Sicchambane nakojeya Dija apambi yajito etehi ti thanehi kiche devanan sandike. That means one should speak the truth, one should not yield to anger, one should give when asked, even if it is only a little. By means of these three, one may go to the walls of devas. So three things you need to do. First is what? You need to tell the truth. Second, you should not yield to anger. And then that one, dana, you should give only the small things. Even if it is only a little, if asked, you should give it. How many things? Three. If you practice the three, you may go to the walls of Deva realms. So when you do charity, three kinds of volition you need to understand. Bhopachetana, Mojachetana, Aparachetana. Bhopachetana means you happy before doing charity. Bhopachetana. Mojachetana, while you are performing charity, you need to be happy, you need to rejoice. And after performing charity, you happy. You recollect your charity again and again, and then you happy. There is Popa Chedana, Monja Chedana, and Apara Chedana. Can you follow me? Popa Chedana, Monja Chedana, Apara Chedana. Popa Chedana is before doing charity, you happy. Monja is while performing charity, you rejoice. And after performing charity, you recollect your charity and you happy. So volition Chetana arises before giving, while giving, and after performing charity. The accomplishment of three steps of volition can produce great benefits to donors. It is important to make threefold volition Chetana keen and pure whenever we perform any acts of charity. And for recipients free from raga, or recipient must be practitioner to eradicate raga. Recipient must be free from dosa, anger, or and recipient must be free from moha, or he or she must be practitioner to eradicate moha. So for the recipient, three things. So for these recipients, they are the so another question is karmic cause for low birth and high birth. So we continue next week. We have to recite the motto by Masi Sayādaw. Can you follow me, Rudy? Killing results while longevity comes from lacks of strife. Killing results in shortness of life, while longevity comes from lacks of strife. Torture leads to suffering and pain, while good health from empathy is gained. Torture leads to suffering and pain, while good health from empathy is gained. Ugliness from fiery anger spring, while patience shining beauty brings. Ugliness from fiery anger spring, while patience shining beauty brings. Few friends are found if jealousy is there, while rejoicing will bring followers near. Few friends are found if jealousy is there, while rejoicing will bring followers near. Stinginess leads to poverty low, while giving causes wealth to grow. Stinginess leads to poverty low, while giving causes wealth to grow. Karma is the only things which all beings own. Faring along on karma's road, bliss or ill is known. So this is the karma and karma results. So we continue next week. So we have to practice meditation.